Hello everyone. So let's start this webinar and welcome everyone. On behalf of whole Civilsdaily, I welcome you all on this webinar, and today we are going to discuss the strategy for the upcoming mains for 2023, how to approach GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as how to approach your essay and how to add value to your content plus make the content. And to help us through all this conversation, today we have rank 109, Miss Areeba with us. Welcome, Areeba ma'am. How are you?
Thank you, sir. I'm good.
So let me tell you something about Areeba as well. She got 109 rank, 109 rank in the UPSC. She is currently an IPS officer, and she belongs to the neighboring district of mine. I belong to Ambedkar Nagar in Uttar Pradesh. She is from Sultanpur in Uttar Pradesh. She has done her schooling between places in Sultanpur and Delhi, and then she did her BTech from Delhi University. In her fourth attempt, she was able to clear the UPSC examination, and congratulations on that. Her optional was sociology. So this was the brief introduction that we will be having with Ms. Areeba. And also let me tell you about myself as well. My name is Parth. I'm the head of the content team as well as the copy evaluation team in Civilsdaily. I have given 6 attempts of UPSC Civil Services as well as 5 attempts of UPPCS, Uttar Pradesh PCS mains. And in all those attempts, I have given 3 interviews of UPSC and 5 interviews of UPPCS. And today we will be taking care of the discussion regarding the mains, how to approach the mains, what are the ingredients that you need, especially in the core and non-core parts, how to combine current affairs with the static, how to use different methods in each and every paper. So Areeba, I would like to ask, first of all, when you started your journey as an aspirant, as a beginner, what was your most common fear regarding UPSC answer writing?
Okay. So, sir, I started my journey back in 2018, and I would agree that for 1 year, I didn't even know what is the relevance of answer writing or when we have to do answer writing. So I was really disoriented towards answer writing, and I did not give it enough importance. And for that reason, I suffered in my 2019 mains. So I only did answer writing for 3 months when I cleared prelims in my 2019 attempt. And that was very less time to, understand what it requires. So then I realized that if I have to crack mains, then I have to start the answer writing on a very daily basis. And I have to cover all the subjects in what demand they want. Like you cannot write GS1 similarly you are writing GS2 or writing GS3. Every paper has a different demand. So I started, full-fledged mains answer writing the moment I was done with my mains 19.
Okay, so what was the initial fear, especially in the 2019 attempt? What withheld you into going into the answer writing?
So until you have not cleared your prelims, I think prelims becomes a monster for you. So what we think is, we think very short term, like let's clear prelims, then we will see about answer writing. So similarly, I also did. I also thought let's clear prelims and then we'll see what it takes for answer writing. So this was my first mistake, or to say a first fear that I was not able to overcome. Secondly, sir, people generally wait, and I also waited for the perfect time to come when you know all the syllabus, when you have all the perfect notes, then only you can do answer writing. So that was my second fear. That okay, what will I write if I don't have notes about it? What will I write if I don't know this topic? So again, that kept me procrastinating this whole thing of answer writing, and again, it was a failure.
I will agree with you. Why I'm saying this? Because see, we have been talking to students on a regular basis, and the basic fear, the basic inertia that everyone has, they have 2 misconceptions. The first one is that everything is related to prelims.
Correct.
Right? कि हमें prelims clear करना है. Once we clear the prelims, then only we will focus on the answer writing. The second thing that you mentioned was about the perfect moment when you will clear the syllabus and you have the notes. So they have this thing, sir, how should we start writing answer on the very first week when we do not have the content, right? So briefly tell me about those values that you have added in paper 1, 2, 3, 4. Ketchup, what was your journey in the sense ki what was your learning after the 119 mains ki? What should be your approach for paper 1 differently, paper 2 differently, paper 3, and subsequently paper 4?
Okay. So as I told you that in 2019 attempt, I scored 712 marks and the cutoff was 750. So that made me realize that I was close enough to the goal, but just that I could not, value add, or I could not express myself well. And that's why I landed up some 30 marks less than the cutoff. Because if you're aware of the mains, you understand that if you're getting half of marks in every question, then you are through with quite a good margin. So, but that half marks requires a lot of effort. So I realized that इतने effort से काम नहीं चलेगा. Then पूरे 2020 and 2021 में I ensured that I am making notes. Because see, why are we not able to write answers? Because we are not getting points. Why are we not getting points? Because the points are not in a very crisp format. We know everything, but we're not able to write it in 5-3 points, like 5 to 7 points. Because again, we do not have clarity about इसके बाद ये, इसके बाद ये. Then I realized कि इसको solve करने के लिए we need to have notes जिसको हम on repeat revise कर सकें. So I started with GS1 की notes. So for that, the thing I think I have previously also discussed on Civilsdaily seminar that I started making intro, body, conclusion वाली notes. So for art and culture, like you have to do the basic books, R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra and Fine Arts की NCERT. उसमें से आपको पहले previous year देखना है कि आज तक क्या क्या आ चुका है, उससे आप देखो कि क्या क्या introduction आप ले सकते हैं. तो मैंने वैसे ही start किया. I started writing introductions about like common introductions about a topic. Then I whatever source I was reading, take for example R.S. Sharma if I'm reading, I'll make a notes of Indus Valley civilization. Then I'll go to previous year question. I will see what all questions have come from Indus Valley. Then I'll add those in my notes, and then I'll write a conclusion also. 2-3 conclusions. So this way I have made GS1 से लेके GS4 तक के notes. Now coming to the thing कि उसमें different कैसे होना है. तो अब GS जैसे आपका GS1 में art and culture है और history है. So there what you can do is कि जैसे modern history में आप introduction कैसे कर सकते हैं, that this particular moment का उस particular movement का या उस phase का आपने timeline बता दिया या उसका relevance बता दिया. अब आप conclusion कैसे कर सकते हैं कि इस movement से इस movement particular movement से इस second movement को बढ़ावा मिला या इस particular like स्वदेशी movement से हमारा कोई और movement आया, civil disobedience movement से आपका quit India movement आया. तो हर एक पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट में डिफरेंट इंट्रो कंक्लूजन के फॉर्मेट्स होते हैं. तो वो मैंने समझा, उसको मैंने अपने नोट्स में डाला, जो भी मुझे डायग्राम्स निकालने थे वो मैंने डाला. तो इस तरह से मैंने अपने GS1 से लेके 4 तक के सारे नोट्स रेडी किए. और ऑब्वियसली ये बहुत ही टाइम टेकिंग चीज था. मुझे लगता था बार ऐसा लगता था कि अरे लिख लेंगे, डायरेक्टली आंसर लिख लेंगे, इतनी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. बट देन आई केप्ट माई सेल्फ रिमाइंडिंग कि what mistake that you have done in 2019 should not be repeated now. So even if it's a lot of effort in making notes, you have to make notes. Because ultimately the thing is you have to write on the paper. That will only come when ideas will flow. And ideas will flow when you have revised. Revision will happen when you have this much notes left. You cannot revise 20 books and 35 booklets. You have to bring everything in this much before your mains. So that was my main agenda, like how to summarize and bring my whole content in this much width.
I got it. I'll diverge a little bit and ask one thing. Did you make notes for prelims?
So I did not make notes for prelims for all the subjects, but I made notes for current affairs, be it prelims or mains. And so I also made notes for the things which, like for example, in modern India, I made notes on social religious movements. Because reading that chapter from Spectrum was a really boring thing for me. Because once you open that book, that social religious reform movements or tribal movements, that was literally very boring topic for me. So I made notes in just 2-3 because that gave me a psychological comfort that okay, you have to now read only 2 pages, not that 3 pages. So थोड़ा जहाँ पे आपको लगता है आप शॉर्ट कर सकते हैं, वहाँ मैंने नोट्स बनाया. बाकी सब्जेक्ट्स को आपको ऑन रिपीट रिवाइज करना है प्रीलिम्स में.
Why I asked this particular question was the fact that I regularly get this query from my students ki, sir, should we make notes for both prelims or mains, or should we focus only for prelims, or should we focus only for mains? So that is why I asked this. Achha, tell me one thing. Going forward after, let's say, couple of attempts later. Wasn't there any boring element or let's say repetitive element? Because see what happens, you know this, I know this, a lot of people in this particular seminar know this, कि after a certain point of time this happens कि boss ये तो पढ़ रहा था. We have already read this, be it Lakshmikant, be it Bipin Chandra, be it Arish Sharma, be it Spectrum, be it GC Leong, whatever. So what was your approach going into the second or third attempt?
Yes, sir. So I would agree, and the only thing that kept me going after my second attempt was newspaper. Well, because only in newspaper you're getting new things. Otherwise, everything is what we have read. So yes, that is a big issue, because you do not want to read Lakshmikant again, you do not want to read Spectrum again. But sir, ultimately we have to accept the fact कि करना है. आपका 50% of the syllabus वही है, 50% जो चीजें वो contemporary हो जाती हैं, पर contemporary भी आपका उस static से जुड़ा हुआ है. तो there is no option than on repeat doing the revision. So आपको कभी-कभी मोटिवेशन नहीं आएगा, पर आपको मैकेनिकली, बहुत ही मैकेनिकली बैठ के करना ही पड़ेगा वो चीज. आपका मन नहीं है, पर आपको बस ये है कि आपके टेबल पे ये बुक रखी है, ये चैप्टर खुला है, अब इसको पढ़ के ही उठना है बस. पढ़ना ही है, चाहे आपको मन से पढ़ो, बिना मन से पढ़ो, पढ़ना ही है.
Understand this thing. Acha, tell me one thing. You told about newspaper. So what was the linkage from current affairs to the static portion? How did you link it?
Okay. Let's take for example something related to governor is in newspaper. Like governor is a hot topic that keeps coming. तो अब governor का आपको static लक्ष्मीकांत में दिया हुआ है. So whenever there will be a tussle of say government versus governor, then you have to go directly to Lakshmikant वाला chapter, read governor, and so इससे क्या होगा, आपका prelims आपने एक बार देख लिया कि अगर governor का topic prelims में आना है तो आपने एक बार रिवाइज कर लिया उसको. अब अगर वो मेंस में आनी है वो चीज, तो आप रिपीटेडली न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रहे हैं, तो आपको कुछ यूनिक पॉइंट्स में आ रहे हैं, कभी उसमें एडिटोरियल आएगा, कभी उसमें कोई डेटा आएगा, तो आपने उसको मेंस की तरह तैयार कर लिया कि किसी कमेटी ने कोई रिकमेंडेशन दिया हो, जैसे सरकारिया है, पुंची कमीशन है, तो ये चीजें आप मेंस के लिए उसे कर लेंगे, है ना. और वही आप गवर्नर को कि कैसे इलेक्शन होता है, उसके क्या पावर है, वो आप प्रीलिम्स ओरिएंटेड कर लेंगे. अब जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कोई बैंक है, मान लीजिए न्यू डेवलपमेंट बैंक है, वो न्यूज में है किसी वजह से, तो उसका प्रीलिम्स आप देख लेंगे स्टैटिक के लिए कि स्टैटिक में कि एनडीबी कब बना, किस एग्रीमेंट से बना, क्या क्या
मेंबर्स कौन
है ना, मेंबर्स कौन है, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है. उसी को आप मेंस में देखेंगे कि इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप उसको देखेंगे, आप उसको इकोनॉमिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखेंगे. ठीक है, तो इस तरह से हमें वही है, आपको अपने सिलेबस को स्कैन करना है कि ये चीज कहाँ फिट हो रही है स्टैटिक में और कहाँ मैं इसको करंट में यूज कर सकता हूँ. तो इस तरह से आप लिंकेज बनाएंगे.
Okay, that was very interesting. Acha, I'll come to two hot topics for mains. When it comes to mains, a lot of people they have this thought process कि हम granted ले सकते हैं paper 1, 2 and 3 को, we can take it for granted. But paper 4 ethics and essay are totally different ball game for each and everyone. Even though when they start writing answers for paper 1 or 2 and 3 itself, they know the difficulty in that there itself, especially in paper 3, where the content is very heavy. The syllabus is very vast in paper 3. There are very, very macro topics. But let me first come to ethics and essay. Okay. So what was your approach for ethics answer writing? You tell me that.
Okay. So talking about ethics, I want to clarify one thing, that ethics, if you are thinking that ethics is about reading and making notes, then it's a wrong thing. I believe that आपने पढ़ लिया, आपने नोट्स बना लिया, उसको एक साइड रखो, दूसरी साइड है आपकी आंसर राइटिंग, स्पेशली फॉर एथिक्स. आप भले जीएस 1, 2, 3 में उतनी आंसर राइटिंग मत करिए, पर अगर आपने एथिक्स में आंसर राइटिंग नहीं की, देन यू विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द फिलॉसफी ऑफ एथिक्स. क्योंकि एथिक्स को मैंने 2019 का जब अटेम्प्ट लिखा, देन आई रियलाइज no matter how perfect notes you are making in ethics, if you have not internalized those concepts and if you have not written those concepts in answer format, you are zero. ठीक है, तो उसके लिए मैंने क्या किया कि my first 20 days were involved in making notes. I chose lexicon. Lexicon को मैंने लिया अपने skeleton notes तैयार करने के लिए. उसके बाद कुछ वेबसाइट्स होते हैं जहाँ टॉपर्स अपने नोट्स डालते हैं, like demystify CSE. करके एक वेबसाइट था, वहां पे मैंने 2-3 टॉपर्स के नोट्स उठाए, वहां से कुछ अच्छे एग्जाम्पल्स चूज किए। फिर जो मैं करंट अफेयर के नोट्स बनाती थी उसमें काफी एग्जाम्पल्स होते थे एथिक्स को लेके, उन सबको मैंने एक जगह लिखा। जैसे मान लीजिए आपका टॉपिक आता है इंटेग्रिटी, तो इंटेग्रिटी पे आपने एक डेफिनेशन लिख लिया, एक कोई कोट लिख लिया, आपने उसका एक जनरल बॉडी बनाई, फिर आपने वहीं पे एग्जाम्पल्स डाल दिए, तो बेसिकली ये पूरा इंटेग्रिटी आपका एक जगह पे आ गया। सो दिस वे आई मेड नोट्स फ्रॉम पॉइंट 1 टू पॉइंट 7, 6 पॉइंट्स आएंगे इसमें, राइट। और उसके सब पॉइंट्स हैं, लाइक करप्शन है, वर्क कल्चर है आपका, प्रॉपर्टी है ना, ये सारी चीजें हैं। तो हर एक चीज का डेफिनेशन, उसकी बॉडी में अगेन वही चीज है, थोड़ी बहुत सोर्स जो आपने पढ़ा, प्रीवियस ईयर में क्या क्या आया है वो आपने डाला, कंक्लूजन लिखा, उसके आंसर लिखे, कहीं कोई डायग्राम डालना था वो डाल दिया। तो इस तरह से मैंने 20 डेज के अंदर वो नोट्स रेडी कर दिए। नाउ इज द चैलेंज दैट हाउ यू आर यूटिलाइजिंग दिस कंटेंट इन आंसर राइटिंग, क्योंकि अगर आपको लगता है नोट्स बना के काम हो गया तो नहीं होता, यू हैव टू अल्टीमेटली राइट, बिकॉज वी थिंक दैट वी नो, बट व्हेन यू कम टू राइटिंग आंसर यू डोंट नो लिटरली एनीथिंग। तो मैंने हर एक प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन लिखा है एथिक्स का, हर एक, सिंस 2013 से अभी तक का जितने भी क्वेश्चन आए, आई रोट देम, आई लिटरली रोट देम। वो ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग से भी काम नहीं चलेगा आपका एथिक्स में। आप एक बार को जीएस 1 2 3 में ब्रेनस्टॉर्म कर लो, 1 पॉइंट लिख लो, पर एथिक्स में एक लैंग्वेज चाहिए हमें। लैंग्वेज आपको तभी आएगी जब आप बहुत बार लिखेंगे। तो जीएस एथिक्स का यही फंडा है। देन कमिंग टू जीएस 1, तो जीएस 1 में सर यही था, नोट्स पहले आपको बनानी है। और जैसे लोग, आपने जैसे बोला कि लोग कहते हैं कि जीएस 1 में तो हमें प्रीलिम्स में तो पढ़ा ही था हमने, लिख ही लेंगे। अगेन आप नहीं लिख पाएंगे,
आप नहीं लिख
क्योंकि वही बात है, पढ़ना एक तरफ है, लिखना एक तरफ। दीज आर टोटली 50-50%। आपने पढ़ लिख लिया, नोट्स बना लिया, दैट्स ओनली 50%। अंटिल यूर राइटिंग इट्स नॉट डन। तो वही बात है, आपको प्रीवियस ईयर उठाना है सबसे पहले। प्रीवियस ईयर के बिना कुछ नहीं, कोई भी आप टॉपिक पढ़ने जा रहे हैं, आपको प्रीवियस ईयर उठाना है। मैं इनफैक्ट
वहीं पर आने वाला था कि प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस का जो आपका लिए रोल था ना, वो क्या था। सो थैंकफुली आपने वो उठा ही लिया है। सो प्लीज एलैबोरेट द रोल ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस फॉर मेंस।
So previous year is very important, especially for GS1 and GS4, because यहाँ बहुत ज्यादा स्टैटिक आता है। ठीक है, आपका GS1 में जो डायनेमिक पार्ट है वो सिर्फ इंडियन सोसाइटी में है, बाकी आपका हिस्ट्री ले लीजिए, आप ज्योग्राफी ले लीजिए, वो सब स्टैटिक, आर्ट एंड कल्चर पोस्ट स्टैटिक है ना, आर्ट एंड कल्चर है, मॉडर्न है, वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री, पोस्ट में सब स्टैटिक है, सिर्फ इंडियन सोसाइटी आपका थोड़ा सा डायनेमिक है। तो यहाँ पे प्रीवियस ईयर का बहुत बड़ा रोल है, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली आफ्टर 4-5 इयर्स या 2-3 इयर्स वो चीज रिपीट होगी ही होगी, और कुछ ही डायमेंशंस में रिपीट होती है। अगर उसने मान, जैसे आप देखो, आप एनालाइज करो, यूपीएससी का एक फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है मॉडर्न इंडिया में कि 1920 के टाइम में बहुत सारी आइडियोलॉजीज आ रही थी, बहुत सारे डिफरेंट मूवमेंट्स चल रहे थे, उनका क्या इम्पैक्ट था नेशनल मूवमेंट पे। तो वो हर ऑल्टरनेटिव ईयर लैंग्वेज चेंज कर करके वो ये पूछ रहे हैं। अगर आपने एक बार उसको सॉल्व कर लिया है उस पर्टिकुलर आंसर को, तो अब व्हेन इट कम्स नाउ, देन यू हैव रेडी यू नो पॉइंट्स, आपको सोचना नहीं है। तो ये काम आप पहले से क्यों ना करके जाए। अगर आप आज तक 20 साल में जो भी चीजें आ चुकी हैं, अगर आपने वो कर लिया तो 60% यू आर डन। मैक्सिमम 40% चीजें होंगी जो आपकी कंटेम्प्रेरी आएंगी, और वो कंटेम्प्रेरी भी आपकी स्टैटिक से जुड़ी हुई है ना। तो इसीलिए मैं कहूंगी GS1 and 4 में तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आपका प्रीवियस ईयर, आपको हर एक क्वेश्चन करके जाना चाहिए। एंड GS2 में अगर हम आते हैं तो अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली अगर पॉलिटी में 10 क्वेश्चन है तो 4 स्टैटिक आते हैं, है ना। अगर आपका इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन है तो वो कहीं ना कहीं बार बार WTO रिपीट करता है, हर तीसरे दिन, हर तीसरे साल रिपीट हो जाएगा WTO, हर तीसरे साल कुछ ब्रिक्स आ जाएगा। तो आपको प्रीवियस ईयर आपने देख लिया तो आई वुड से हर एक पेपर में 60% यू आर डन, दैट्स द रूल। एंड 60% अगर आपके हाथ में है तो यू हैव एज ओवर ऑल अदर स्टूडेंट्स। ऑफ कोर्स वो एज ही चाहिए इस पूरे एग्जाम में,
बिकॉज़ सी व्हाट आई हैव सीन even in the mock tests as well, plus also in the real examination scenario, is that even after with all these knowledge, you can only confidently attempt 12 to 13 questions, right, out of those 20. The rest 6-7 are above average or moderately average answers, right? So if you have the hold of over 60% of the content of the previous year, then it really going to help you.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
And participants who are in the webinar, I would request you all to keep sending your queries in the chat box. Once we are done with the discussion between us, we will be taking those queries. Okay. And also, Lokesh has pointed out one really good thing, that he's from South India, so he might not be really well versed in the Hindi language that we are conversing so far. So for the next of the whole webinar, we will be trying to keep it in the English. Thanks a lot, Lokesh, for pointing it out. And coming back to our first question, that was regarding paper 4 and essay. So what was your overall approach for essay? Given the fact that how did you utilize the same GS material, same GS content for essay preparation, or did you do anything differently?
So in the previous seminar also I have told this, that see essay with the point that essay can be a general topic, it can be a philosophical topic. Till now we have only seen two things, like general and one is philosophical. So for general, what you have to do is you have to divide all of the previous questions that they have asked in essays in 10 to 12 themes. Themes like women, themes like agriculture, technology, themes like education, healthcare, you know. These are 10, 12 themes which keeps repeating. So you have made a list of these things. Because this is what we have in our hand. Philosophical topics we do not have in our hand. What quote will come, we do not know. But these 10, 12 themes we have in our hand. So what you have to do, you have all the content because you have read all kind of GS. Okay. What you have to do, what extra you can do is search quotes on it, search anecdotes, search best practices from the world, and try to make your essay very global. Like 70% of the times you can remain India perspective, but 30% of the times you should go global. And my agenda was to cover all the continents. Like if I'm writing something on agriculture, I'll write something from Africa, from USA, sorry, North America, South America, Oceania. So that gives the examiner a thought that this person is global in thinking. Okay, and similarly you have to do for your India one part. If you belong to UP, all your examples should not come from North Belt. You should diversify your Northeast, South India, Ladakh, West of India, so that it shows that you're a pan-India person. So I used to collect these examples. I used to collect quotes. Quotes should be Indian, Western, Taoism, Confucius, any kind of quote. Be diverse in your approach. These things you can connect. And so I would again emphasize on the importance of newspaper. Newspaper is what will differentiate your content, because everybody knows GS. We all have read, GS. But how we capture whatever is coming in newspaper is different for two different people.
Of course.
Somebody has a mind that he can or she can make a story out of one event. The other person will just read and leave. But it's your duty to understand if this news has come, how you can use it for your GS, how you can use it for this particular topic in essay, how you can dramatize this particular news. Like I've already told that in Sunday or Saturday, some ground story comes in newspaper, in Hita Hindu, ground zero. So sometimes these are very beautiful, stories to start with. Sometimes a lot of government schemes comes. They give the success of that scheme.
Of course.
That you can write that this particular state is doing this particular state is doing that. So this way you have to keep your radar on and collect information wherever you're going. Be it newspaper, be it GS, your quotes, whatever you're searching on internet, that will help you in essay.
Okay.
And the fundamental of essay is you have to be diverse, you have to be visionary. Like you cannot stop on what is there today. You have to think what will happen in future. You have to have a vision, because ultimately, so today we have bureaucrats, and after 20 years we'll be making policies. So the examiner wants to know that what kind of a vision you have.
Exactly.
So that optimism, that visionary thing, that leadership should show in your essay.
In the same theme, as you mentioned, there are two sets of essays. One is philosophical, one is very general. But this year we saw that, especially in 122, if I'm not wrong, all the 8 essays were philosophical theme. Okay. Yes. So what was your approach dealing in those essays?
Okay. So in philosophical essays, what we can do is we all have read ethics, right? We know deontology, we know teleology, we know Western thinkers, we know Indian thinkers, we know Plato, Socrates, Aristotle. Everybody we know. So what we have to do 30% of the times keep sprinkling these thinkers and these theories in your essay whenever the topic is philosophical. And rest 70 times you again have to apply GS. But this time your GS should have a philosophical tone, a dramatic and emotional connect. You cannot go on to write that in Global Hunger Index, India ranked this. You have to be a little philosophical that the paradox that we are seeing in India is today we are progressing towards moon, but on the same side, our 37% of the children are, degrading in the health ladder. This is how you dramatize basically. The content is same. The report is same.
The emotions are there.
Will just vomit the content, the fact, and the other person will just make it a little emotional. So there's no big deal for philosophical essays. In fact, I really like philosophical essays because they give you a whole canvas. You can connect everything.
Exactly.
But if you have GS, you have to write only that.
Into that perspective, right?
Like if they have asked agriculture, you will only write agriculture. Agriculture, you can go diverse. You can write this. You can write different countries, but ultimately it has to be agriculture. But in philosophical essays, you have whole canvas to explore. So that's a very good opportunity, in fact, to bring out the person inside you.
Exactly. I'll give you one more example. One of my essay, it was on 14 or 15. I'm not able to remember. There was this quote in essay: "Words cause more hurt than the sword." Okay, so there I got the opportunity because I'm someone from history background. I've done my graduation from history, so I linked it right from the Mahabharata age. Take care, the mythology, the epic Mahabharata. Okay, it was not so much about the game of chances that they were playing, rather than the insult to Draupadi, which led to the eventual war. Okay, to the contemporary World War II. It was not so much about the expansion of Germany, then the barrage that he held against the Jews. Okay, so as you said, it helps us to diversify into all the areas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So one more thing, one little funny question: is the UPSC main syllabus vast?
Yes, sir. Of course, it is vast. But sir, the service that we are dreaming of in itself is a vast thing to do. So now it seems little to me, honestly speaking. Because now when I have met senior officers, when they tell me about their schedule, when they tell me what they are actually doing on ground, then I understand that this is the bare minimum we need to know. So think that way, the syllabus will ultimately shrink.
Why I asked this particular question was the fact that there was this pop-up. Everyone is asking questions right now. We will be taking those questions. So one of the students in the webinar, he right away asked this question: "Ma'am, the UPSC syllabus is so vast. How to cover it?" So we will be coming to that later on. So one more thing that differentiates mains and prelims is the fact that there is extra 30% in the mains. Right, be it paper 1, 2, 3, and the paper 4 is already totally different. Okay, so in paper 1 we have society, which is not there in prelims. We have world history, which is again not there in prelims. Resources. Then in paper 2, more or less IR is not there in prelims.
Yes.
Okay, or the analytical level of IR is not there in the prelims. Right. Then poverty, hunger, these issues, and then when it comes to paper 3, almost everything except environment and economy, the core economy and the core environment, except that everything else is alien to prelims, like trade, agriculture, disaster management, internal security, these kind of things. So those we call them non-core.
Okay.
Right. So how manage that non?
So your voice is breaking a little.
Okay.
Can you sir please repeat the non-core statement?
Okay. So as I said, in prelims and mains, 70% of the themes are same, right? But there is this next 30% which is non-core. Take care, as we say, especially paper 3, paper 2, little bit of paper 1. So how did you deal with these non-core part, like internal security, disaster management, agriculture, backward forward linkages, everything?
So I'll go GS1 से 4 तक. So for GS1 sir, world history and post independence. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So in GS1, world history, post-independence, and Indian society, these three things are out of prelims zone. So for world history and post-independence, I only took one coaching material, and then I was only doing that. I did not do a lot of research based on first-hand reference. I only took the coaching material and I did it. And this I did after clearing prelims. So the hack for GS1 is the moment you do prelims, the moment you have given prelims, the next 10 days are very crucial because people waste those 10 days like anything. But so my target was that the moment I'm done with prelims, I'll give 3 days break and the next 10 days I'll cover GS1 ka non-core. In that, I will cover world history, post-independence, Indian society. Because the Indian society was my optional, sociology was my optional, so Indian society was not a big deal. So I made a target that in 10 to 15 days after prelims, I'll do the non-core areas of GS1. So most of the people in that time are busy calculating their marks of prelims. They are doing the judgments about the top. So don't waste time in that. Just jump into your mains. Now coming to GS2, GS2 mein if the governance part and IR wala part is non-core. So these things I joined a coaching institute's current affair thing that helped me for GS2 and GS3 non-core areas. So and that was one thing. And so whatever thing I did not get the core skeleton material, I refer to vision material. The supplementary material that Vision IAS gives that I did for topics like governance and social justice that I did. I made my own notes and I updated the current affair that I am capturing from newspaper. Similarly for GS3. So all of these major portions were done after prelims, but I ensured that ethics is done before prelims. If you are doing ethics before prelims, then that's a big release. It's a relaxing thing.
Exactly.
So now you're only left with small things that you can cover in 5 days, 7 days, every bit. So that way was the way to do it.
Okay. So thanks a lot for these insights. One last question from my end. What would be your suggestion for someone, either a beginner, either someone who has given 2 mains, 1 mains, whatever, or even if that person has done a couple of prelims? So what would be your advice regarding the mains preparation, especially GS 1, 2, 3, 4 and essay?
So the first thing is mains is the thing that will, make you an officer. Mains is the thing where you have to literally give everything. Give everything 100%, whatever is inside you. Don't be lazy to read. Don't be lazy to make notes. Don't be lazy to do answer writing. Because this is one chance where you can do it. Because see, prelims is very dicey. The moment you are through prelims, you have to do mains. You have to, take that opportunity. You have to clear mains. That's the thing. So don't be lazy. Don't procrastinate mains. Okay, wherever you are, whichever phase you are, ultimately mains will decide. And sooner or later, you will reach that phase, inshallah. You will reach that phase. So be prepared for that. And always keep your mind simultaneously on for mains and prelims from day one. The moment you enter this, this journey and wherever you are today, always think of mains. Don't think when I clear prelims, only then I'll switch on that button in my mind for mains. That button has to be in an on mode the moment you are in this phase. Okay. So have that faith that you will clear mains, you will clear prelims, you will reach interview. Always be, you have that attitude that I will sit in front of those panel, that UPSC panel in interview one day. So ultimately you'll have that motivation. If you go like once I clear prelims, only then I'll do mains. Once I clear mains, only then I'll do interview. Then that's an obstacle.
Exactly. Okay, one last supplementary question.
Yes.
Like a lot of people are asking here itself, December has started, right? So ideally till when they can write answers if they are approaching for 2023 prelims? What is your opinion?
So again, it's a very individualistic call.
Individualistic
Because
question.
if I was there, I know if because I think my prelims preparation is good enough, then I will only give last 50 days to my prelims. Other than that, I'll be writing answers. But you should check if prelims is still a hurdle for you, then at least 3 months you have to secure for only prelims. So the last March, April, May, at least 3 months, you have to only think prelims. Your mind should become objective. You should not think, in a multi-dimensional manner. Just be in a prelims mode, at least 3 months. But again, it's an individualistic call. You should know that where you stand. If I was at your place, maybe I would have only given 10 days for prelims. Rest of the days I would be doing answer writing. So you have to judge it yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
So fantastic. Thanks a lot. 3 months now. The basic thumb rule would be even till the end of the February, you should be writing answers. If the prelims is towards the end of the May, then you have to write till the starting of March or the end of the February, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Guys, can you hear me? Okay, so I was saying, so the thumb rule is that at least till the Feb end, you have to write the answers. If the examination is going to be in the end of the May, right?
Yes.
So I'll be taking up questions that you all have posted in the chat section. So let me start with Abhimanyu. He has asked, ma'am, should we do previous year questions also before for GS 123 or only after 2013 when this new pattern kicked in?
No. You have to do since 1995. I have done since 1995. See, what you can do is you can go reverse. Do 2022, 21, 20, go in a reverse mode. But don't think that only till 13 you are safe. Obviously, till 13 you have to do, but try to manage somehow that you have done till 2000s. Because see, the thing is, the frontline questions are getting exhausted. In UPSC, the questions are getting exhausted. So now what they're doing, they're asking some old-fashioned question also in both prelims and mains.
Exactly.
So you have to be ready.
Exactly.
Okay, you have to be ready all the way.
So in fact, if you see this year's the 2022 examination, you would see that especially in paper 1 and 2, a lot of questions were very factual. And when we go back into last 20-25 years of previous year questions, then those were the eras when these type of questions were being asked. It was not very dynamic in those times when there was no Google, there was no internet. So yeah, your point is right. You have to write from 1995. Correct. So I hope Abhimanyu got your answer. Utkarsh Amar he has asked, I'm a beginner for ethics and I have no idea how to begin. What would be your suggestion to take this paper on? Also, if you could name any source.
So he wants to begin reading ethics.
Yeah.
So, sir, ethics, the thing is, first, you know the syllabus of ethics. Try to decode the syllabus of ethics. So the first point, you should know that what all things are given. If there is ethics, there are determinants of ethics, there are sources of ethics, essence of ethics, human values in public, in private, then the values you learn from reformers, leaders, administrators, parents, something. Now I'm missing it from my mind. But this is mota what you have. So always make a flow chart first of all. Give your 1 day in understanding the syllabus of ethics. Okay. Then only you will understand कि आपको कौन सा topic कितने depth में पढ़ना है. ठीक है. Now choose one book. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So now choose one book that can be lexicon, That can be Kiran publication. Choose any one book. Okay. Now read that book at least thrice. Read that book thrice. Don't go for answer, note making in your first reading. That's nonsense. Go at least 2-3 readings. Now you have some grip of subject. Now you can make notes. Again, how to make notes? First, go to previous year. See what questions have been asked. Then only you can make notes. Okay, because see, if you're making notes on, say, emotional intelligence, but you don't know what kind of question comes from emotional intelligence, then what kind of notes you will make. So read emotional intelligence, go to previous year question, now make notes. And always try to connect from newspaper. Newspaper, you have to collect good examples. That will only differentiate your answer. See, everybody quotes Mahatma Gandhi, everybody quotes E. Sridharan, Ashok Khemka. So the examiner on repeat, reads these things. So examiner knows that you have just ratified it and the internal ethics is not coming out. So bring ethics close to you. Bring ethics close in your daily language. Understand that if Mahatma Gandhi gave some 7 sins, then understand it in your own life. Give some example from your own life, from your surrounding, from your neighborhood, something like that. Okay, that's the way you should do.
Okay, I'll add one more point regarding that point that you mentioned about Gandhi and all. See, a couple of years ago, I was checking a copy that student eventually cleared the examination. I won't name the person. So that person, what that they did was that in each and every, it was in the initial phase of their preparation. Okay, what they did, especially in paper 1, 2, and 3, whenever they used to quote anyone, what they used to do, Elon Musk has said the best time to implement this idea was yesterday. The next best time is today. Okay, so that person did it for Elon Musk, Gandhiji, Nehru, Bernard Shaw. Okay, every other personality that was there in the universe, he chipcofied that quote to each and everyone in each and every paper. Because I was checking their answers, so I realized this is becoming a repetitive trend. So I told that person, listen, if you do it consistently, you will be caught. So try to be imaginative. Try to be original. So
your bluff will be captured if you try to bluff, and they are very smart people.
Of course, they are. And they are looking into a future civil servant. You have to be solution oriented, plus you have to be on your toes in the thinking. Yeah. So Karthik, I think it is Karthik or some other name, KRTI, it is written on the screen. So one important question for the ma'am: if we start note making from today, then how much time we should take? If one is preparing for 2023 and 2020 also 24 also, sir, and how much time it took for each GS note making?
See, it's not that today you start making notes and in 6 months you make all notes. It's not the thing.
It is a continuous process.
It keeps building. It is an everyday practice. First of all, you do not have to make notes of everything, as I told. In prelims, you do not need to make notes of Lakshmikant or spectrum or these things, because they themselves are notes. And first of all, understand why we make notes. Just because I am saying that I made notes, that doesn't mean that you will also make notes. First of all, understand why to make notes. Then only you will understand which all things you should make note of. Why we make note is because we want to summarize this whole much into this thing. Right? So where the syllabus is very expansive, only there you have to make notes. First of all, make notes of current affair, because you have to show the uniqueness in the paper. That can be done. And whenever you are doing one topic, at least read thrice. I would say still read thrice. The 4th time you have to make notes, because if first time you make notes, you will end up making all of things in the note. When you have done the 3rd reading, then a lot of things are already in your head. You do not have to write everything now. Now in the 4th reading, make notes. So it's the aspirant, I want to tell you that it's a continuous process. You cannot have a timeline for making notes. Okay. The moment you're done with one topic, make notes. Then start another topic, make notes. That way you have to do.
Right. So Diksha, I would veto your question because currently you are focusing only on GS and essay. But let me tell you what she has asked. She has asked, good evening, ma'am. Kindly share sociology strategy and book list. So will you be able to take this question or shall we move ahead? You tell me.
So sociology, can we keep a separate session on that?
Yeah, exactly. We will do that. So Sudiksha,
because a lot of people
Sudiksha,
might be
it's our
having
exactly. And suddenly in last couple of years, sociology is back in the business. Okay. When I started my preparation back in 2011, okay. So sociology, they were punishing it. They had this tendency of sine wave curve like this. Geography is currently being punished. Okay. And I'm pretty much sure anthropology will be done the same way.
Correct.
Okay. Because every other person, if you throw a stone, it will be landing on someone who has taken an anthropology. Okay. And when I took anthropology, I literally had no idea what anthropology was. I took it in 2015. So that was the case. So, Sudiksha, we will be having a session. I promise you, Civilsdaily will be bringing a session on sociology. Don't worry about it. Okay. Shasta has asked, ma'am, while you were writing previous year questions, were you writing it in the terms of examination or in the as a note making process? What was your approach for the previous year questions?
Okay. So my approach was, see, if I have done, say for example, I have completed Indus Valley Civilization. Now I will open previous year question. I will choose at least 3 questions from that topic, and now I will write. Now when I'm writing this, I do not have any time bar. I just want to hone my skill that whatever content I have, how can I fit it? How can I improve my intro? How can I improve my presentation? How can I improve this diagram? How can I bring more dimensions? So basically, I was learning good answers. I was not a crazy person that I have to, write this 100, this 200, it wasn't this. I just, even if you see, it's a skill. If you know the skill, you will know. But if you are crazy about writing all the test series, everything, then you will end up nowhere. Exactly. So my first priority was understanding what answer writing is. So once, see, for example, if I have written one question in 10 minutes, now I will again take that answer, I will reread it myself, and I will evaluate that how can I improve this intro, how can I improve this conclusion, how can I improve the presentation, how can I add 2 more points to this, how can I basically diversify this. I will check this on my own. This will require 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it takes. Okay. Now, when I understood that how to write answers in art and culture, now I will do 1 hour timer and I will write all the answers again. Okay. Because every subject has different skill to write. Exactly. Art and culture requires different skill. Modern India requires different skill. Geography requires different skills. So once you know the skill of every subject, now you can put a timer of, say 1.5 hours, do all the answers and proceed. That's exactly. It.
So people who are listening to this, they understand that when we say in our topic evaluation, your structure needs to be improved. So that is the structure. Structure of each paper is different, and structure for each paper's different syllabus, different subject are also different. Yes. You cannot have the same approach for, let's say, geography and society.
Correct.
Okay. So Jagan has asked a very good question, and let me answer it. How to clear in first attempt? With hard work, hard work, hard work. Okay. 85% hard work, 15% good luck. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So Hemant Kumar, see, there is no recipe for clearing in the first attempt. If there was a ready-made recipe, everyone would have cleared in the first attempt. There would not have been any second or third attempt. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir, hello.
Hi, Jagan. Yes.
Sir, actually, this is my personal question, sir. I had studied till Tamil medium 12th standard. So after that, I moved to Gujarat. I had completed my Bachelor of Arts in English Literature. So just I have studied only 3 years English medium, sir. So it's very tough to understand each and every sentence, sir. So that's why I'm asking. That's why I asked the questions how to clear first attempt, because being a Tamil students, it's very difficult to understand each and every English.
So you can write in Tamil medium, right?
Yeah, yes, sir, it's possible, sir, but there are no material at all, sir. I mean,
okay, that might be an issue that I can understand. That is something that every other publisher should address, especially when we have the option to write examination in the local medium. Then, of course, that material should be available.
Ma'am, could you explain, could you give me some idea if I'm going to appear 2024 attempt?
Regarding what? Can you be more precise?
I need her explain about my people. I mean, the idea. If I going to appear 2024, so should I go to join the coaching or without doing self study?
Okay.
Your call, yeah. It's totally your call. Because everybody knows why I joined coaching, because I wanted to clear as early as possible. Secondly, I am an engineer. I had left social studies in class 10th. So, and in schools we know, so unfortunately we are not made to understand why parliament, why democracy, what is this, what is that.
Exactly.
We're only made to learn things and just vomit. So I had zero understanding of social sciences. That's why I took coaching. But you would be knowing what your subjects were in that, how you had studied in school, then you can make a call. See, now everything is available online. All kind of free resources are there. Like Civilsdaily is also doing a really great job, sir. So platform like this are available today for students like you, for students from remote areas, rural areas. So it's totally your call. Okay, there's nothing to miss out. You will do great even if you're not doing coaching, and you will do great even if you're doing coaching. So it's your call.
So I'll add to this. I have seen people who are going to be senior to you, Areeba. They have done their coaching, they have cleared the examination, and then there are people who have cleared the examination, they have never set a foot into the coaching.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's totally going to be a call between personalities, between individuals. And secondly, Jagan, I would add to this point, you just start. At least start. Then you will gain the momentum. Then you will realize whether you need the coaching or not. Whether, let's say you start with polity. I'm just giving an example. You start with polity. After, let's say 15-20 days, if you are gaining the momentum, if you are able to understand the basics, then you're moving to Lakshmi. And then it will be helpful. I can do it on my own. But if you think that you are stuck, you're not able to find the actual depth. As she said last time, PYQs help you in a manner ki, if I'm reading a particular topic, how is it going to help me in the actual examination? Be it prelims, be it mains. So PYQs help you in that sense. So you have to understand, if you're not able to understand the depth, then you need to have that coaching. If you're not able to understand the direction, then you need to have the coaching. So at least take the plunge. Don't worry. Do not have this inertia. Okay. And one good thing that Vikas Divikirti sir told, take care. I saw this video. You start this preparation. Do not fear about the preparation. First of all, this preparation will teach you something. For example, I am sitting here. I am in the Civilsdaily because of the knowledge that I gained for the preparation of UPSC. Okay.
This preparation makes you a better person, and I think that's the best thing out of this preparation. Getting your goal, success, failure is all perspectives, I believe. The individual that you come out of this preparation is totally different person that no other preparation can make you. So yeah, jump into it and don't think much.
Yes, and then you would take the call after 15-20 days or 1 month whether you need the coaching or not. Of course, you will be needing test series. Of course, you need to join some coaching institute for test series, be it prelims, be it mains, be it essay, be it your optional, be it your interview mock test. Okay, but you will, whether you need a proper foundation batch or not, it is going to be your own call.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Most welcome. So Hemant here has asked, will the Hindu analysis videos available in YouTube are helpful, or do we have to read newspapers directly?
Okay. So this keeps coming to me. I don't know why people want shortcut. I really don't understand. See, only relying on videos is a bad thing, but taking help of videos is a good thing. So your priority should be reading newspaper first of all on your own, because reading newspaper on your own, understanding on your own makes you a thinking person. Ultimately, you have to be a thinking person who doesn't need help of the other person to make you understand. Okay. But for starting 4, 5, 6 months, you can definitely take help of these videos. Obviously, these videos, people, trained enough people are there who make these videos. A lot of effort goes in these videos. So you can definitely take help. You can supplement it. But don't ever rely completely on these things, because ultimately you have to make your mind that it can understand, comprehend, and bring the output.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. And Sudiksha again has asked one question. When should we start test series?
Which test series? Mains or prelims?
Let's say both. She has not mentioned it, but let's say both.
I would say once you have done the previous year question, only then.
Okay.
Because when we start test series, then we ignore previous year like anything. So your priority is previous year, then join one test series. Again, I'm saying don't be crazy about test series. It's just a way to comprehend and yourself, to analyze your own situation. Nothing will come from test series. Okay, first be very clear. Let's be very clear. Nothing comes from test series. Test series importance is not that questions will come from there. Test series teaches you how to manage time. Test series makes you ready for your revision thing. You revise, then you write. So that's why test series is important. But only do once you have done the previous year.
Perfect. And I'd like to add one more thing regarding the test series. Test series help you one more thing. They help you experiment whatever you are going to do in the real examination.
Correct, yes.
Whatever experiments you want to do. Okay. So test series only after previous year questions. Okay. Hemant Kumar has asked how to build the vocabulary for using catchy words in answers. Please don't go after catchy words. Please keep it as simple as possible if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir. Because sir, we think these are catchy words, but those examiners are literally very, highly scholar kind of people. For them, it's everyday word.
Exactly.
And what if they don't even see that word? You invested 20 minutes finding that word. What if they just went like this? They didn't even see. Maybe, no? So don't be like that, catchy words and all. Just have a strong analysis. That's you should have a strong analysis of your answer. That's all.
Of course. And I'll add one more thing. I once had an opportunity to talk to Mrs. Parveen Tala. She used to be a member of UPSC back in 2010, 11, 8, 7, 8, if I'm not wrong. So she told me one really good thing. See, whenever you're approaching GS answers, your language has to be in a very layman term. It has to be not very basic, but it has to be very layman because you are explaining those terms to the examiner that is going to check your copies, especially in GS. When it comes to optional, then your copy will be checked by a central university professor of that particular subject. There you have to use the technical keywords. There you cannot run away from those facts. But in GS, understand that whoever is checking your copy, he or she has asked that particular question. Now you are making them understand that. So don't go after catchy words, please.
Yes.
Okay. So Sakshi had asked that particular question about the vast syllabus wala thing that I asked in the middle of the session. She is saying the syllabus is vast. How to learn so much as anything can be asked. Today I tried to write means test, but could not write as I didn't remember the points. So how to remember those points? Tell me.
Okay. that is the thing that everybody faces. Because the truth is syllabus is vast. And ultimately you have to write good answers. Good answers come from good points and how to remember good points. So whenever you are making points, whenever you are making notes, always first thing is make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number your points. That gives you a cognition that there are 5 points that I have to remember. Second thing what you have to do is prioritize your points. Like first best point, better, good point, worst point, further point. Something like that. Okay. Remember like this. And always try to make a story out of some points. First this, then comes this, then comes this, then comes this. Try to understand in a story format that point, particular points. Okay. So these are few little things that if you do some amount, 20-30% your efficiency increases in learning these things. And secondly, sir, the more you revise, the better it is.
Of course.
The why these things come up in aspirant is they do not revise. They think that if I have done today and tomorrow if I'll write answer, I'll write everything. But that's not the case.
That's not how it
Even
works.
if you do after 10 minutes, you will forget 3 points out of 5. If you have learned 5, you will forget 2 at least. Because that's how our mind is. Our mind only takes those things that we have feeded on repeat. if you're doing the same thing on repeat, then only mind understand it is something important to be learned. Otherwise, it will just flow it in the short term memory.
Of course.
So revision has no alternative. Notes has no alternative. And notes should be very logically placed. There should be numbering. For priority should be placed there. Logic should be there. So that's how you can remember things. And one more thing I want to add: even if you are writing 5 good points out of 7, that's the best thing you can do.
Exactly.
Don't run writing 7 out of 7. The toppers, even Shruti Sharma, the topper, would not have done 10 out of 10 points that she remembered. Because it's humanly
not possible. Impossible.
In that amount of pressure, when you actually write mains, that pressure is incomparable.
Of course.
So even if you're getting 7 good points, that's enough. Okay. That's the thing.
Yes. A lot of people, they have asked one particular thing. How did you manage time? Especially given the fact that it had 3 hours. Paper 1 and 2 were together and paper 3 and 4 were together. So how were you able to manage time efficiently?
So time management comes in your preparation. It doesn't come on that day. So when we are doing the test series, when we are writing previous year questions daily, then only you teach your brain how to write 7 minutes mein itna, how to write 11 minutes mein itna. So basically, whatever things you are doing on your D day, on your mains day, those things are practiced prior 3-4 months. Every day you are writing mains. Believe that every day when you're waking up, you should have that mains wala attitude. That the 3 months after prelims is very crucial. And in that only you understand the time management. Because there time management doesn't come. It is a reflection of what you have done in those 3 months.
Exactly.
Okay. So one more thing, always try to push the average. If you are writing today in 8 minutes, push it to 7 minutes 30 seconds. So then the next day push it to 7 minutes. Then the next day push it to 6 minutes 30 seconds. Because we should be ready that even if 10 minutes are there and 3 questions are left, we have to attempt those 3 questions. Okay. So always try to practice that. If there are only 3 minutes, how will you write? If there are only 4 minutes, how will you write? So practice all kind of situations. That will only make you ready on that day.
Of course. Okay, this is going to be a good question. Who has asked? Hemant again has asked it. What were the mind relaxing techniques you used in breaks while studying? And what was your motivating factor to clear this examination?
So the first question is mind relaxing techniques. So yes, mind can be your best friend and your best enemy. You have to relax it. So my hobby is gardening. Nature gives me a lot of happiness. So I had a mini balcony in my old Rajendra Nagar room. I used to do some, I used to bring new plants and take care of those plants, water them, give some fertilizer. Then the second mind relaxing thing was some guided meditation I used to do in that Sindhi park in old Rajendra Nagar. And that was one thing. And the best mind relaxing for me was talking to my friends, cousins, and parents. So that was also one thing that I used to do. And I also like songs, so that can be some Sufi song or something that can be done. Secondly, the second question is what was my motivation behind it? So motivation, actually, there is no one motivation. The motivation keeps increasing. The reason why you come to this journey is now totally different. Why today I am here. See, most of us come seeing the glamour of the service. To be very honest, most of us come seeing the glamour, the respect, the power, the prestige. But once you start studying, once you are aware of all the situations in our country, the poverty, the unemployment, the hunger, and when you see that officers have done such great things, then the motivation becomes different. My motivation today is like, if I feel that I am a privileged person because I have a fairly good, I have a good education, I have good health. So why not use my privilege in giving back? So I have this clear motivation that if I have such a privilege, then why not give my hand to the person who needs it? So that's my motivation. The motivation when I came into this preparation was the prestige that this service gives, the respect that this service gives. It was unparalleled. But today it's different. So the motivation keeps adding.
Okay, thanks a lot. And even I loved gardening back then when I was doing my preparation. And the second relaxing thing that I used to do, I used to play with the stray dogs.
Okay.
Because back in my PG, I was not allowed to take care of my own pets. So I used to take care of street dogs that were outside. And believe me, even today, my mother does not allow me to take a dog inside. So I have a pack of 15, 16 dogs outside. So I take care of them. So it's very individualistic, and songs help every day. Songs are the best thing. Okay. Shasta, you have multiple questions. You have raised your hand as well. Can you please come online and ask Shasta?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, my question is regarding ethics test solving, ma'am. Ma'am, how you used to attempt the paper, ma'am? In actual UPSC exam or say mock test of ethics. Ma'am, part A you used to attempt first or part B? Because ma'am, I have attempted 5 full-length tests, including 2 previous year's question in 3 hours. Like ma'am, 2021 paper and 2022 paper I have solved in 3 hours. Ma'am, in all these 5 papers, I have attempted case studies first, and then I attempted the part A questions. And ma'am, whatever remark I got for the whole paper, ma'am, part A questions were not of good quality, but part B was okay, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm getting around 100, 105, these type of marks in the test, ma'am. Ma'am, is there, how you used to attempt, ma'am, or is there any technique to overcome this, ma'am? Because my part A answers are very going drastically very bad, ma'am. Quality is too much reduced.
See, the thing is, you cannot differentiate part A, part B as such. Both carry equal marks.
Exactly.
Both carry equal marks. You cannot be biased towards any. So, and logically speaking, you should attempt part A first, because that's the first thing the examiner will see. Examiner will not wait for your case studies to come. The examiner would have made kind of image of you seeing your first 3, 4, 5 questions. Like as much as we know, I don't know what process goes inside UPSC, but as a normal thinking person, I believe that they obviously start from question 1, right? They do not go to case studies first. Maybe. So my thing was doing part A first and then part B. And I did not differentiate that this will give me more, that will give me less. Both were equally weighted for me. I gave respect and justice to both of them equally. And if you give respect to both of these parts, this question will not even come up with which one to attempt. Okay. So I will say you can definitely go for part A and then part B. It's just a normal thing. Actually, a lot of people say a lot of things. People, I don't know, make stories, make conspiracy theories, so that if you attempt this, then that, if you attempt that, then this. Keep it very simple. Keep this whole preparation very simple. Go 1 to 20, that's fine. Go 20 to 1, that's fine. You have to do justice to all the questions, that's all.
And eventually your first question will come first when you are being checked. Okay. You will not write in the answer sheet, Kecha, boss, please check my section B or question number 20 later on because I have written that first. Earlier, it used to be the thing. Before 2013, it used to be a thing. You can attempt from anywhere. Because the paper used to be like our college paper, like a blank paper. Then you have to mention the question, but not in this particular sense. Okay. And secondly, I would always say that people, they give a lot of weightage to section B, but they forget that section A has an equal weightage.
Correct.
And you do not know in this particular year what kind of case studies will be there. If you see case studies of 2013 and 14 and 15, they look like very rudimentary now, given the fact that they are asking in last couple of years. So, Shasta, I think she has answered.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome. Now we have a couple of very interesting questions. Rushi has asked Areeba how to get your answers checked, whether they are up to a UPSC level. If there is no coaching available around us, if there is no mentor. So if you are writing answers on a daily basis, 2 answers, 3 answers, so what should be the ideal approach to check our own preparation, whether we are writing good or bad?
I would say toppers' answers are the best thing that you can check. Go to websites like Vision IAS, GS Core, I think Civilsdaily might also have uploaded. Wherever you get toppers' answers, please read the question. First of all, make your own answer in your brain. Understand what you would have written. Now see the toppers' answer, what they have written. Now, once you understand how different subjects are to be answered, now you write your own answer and be your own evaluator. Again, I will emphasize nothing is best than your own evaluation.
Of course.
Okay, because you give yourself space to improvise. And once you just give, once you join a test series, once you give that answer to anybody else, you are outsourcing that thing. Then you will not do it yourself. You will not make that effort to improve yourself. Now you have given XYZ person, bro, check my answer, give it. Now you will not do the effort that is to be done by you. So first thing is do answer toppers copies. Read them, understand them regularly, do it. Now once you have understood how to answer, now be your own evaluator.
Okay, so another good question. Praveen has asked, ma'am, please suggest, should we give sectional mains test or full length test?
Okay, so I will say first is sectional. Are you asking about prelims or mains?
Mains.
Yeah, sectional is very important because as I told, every subject requires. Yes, sir?
Amit, are you saying anything?
No, sir. Prelims as well.
Prelims, okay. You can answer for both prelims and mains, both.
Okay. So I think both ways you have to do sectional first, I guess.
Of course.
Because see, you are in a mode of something, so why not complete that mode, pura? And agar aap prelims, if you see the paper of prelims, if they are asking quality, then they keep on asking quality. Now, if they're asking economy, they keep on asking economy. Now, suddenly they switch to science, they keep on asking science. So you can do sectional first and full length later. And actually it doesn't make any difference also. Ultimately, every question is individually, unique. So don't do a lot of thinking about this. Just solve. That's all. But it's better that if you do sectional first, get 360-degree understanding of that topic. Now you can do diverse full length. And ultimately, do a lot of full length, because full length is ultimately what you have to do in final exam.
Okay. So I hope Praveen ma'am has answered your question. Amit has asked one thing. He wants to know the detailed strategy for history section 1 in GS1. So briefly, can you please explain what was your approach?
Detailed strategy for sir?
History GS1.
History. So history, art and culture, modern world, everything. So for art and culture, R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra, fine arts, NCERT. These 3 things you have to do along with previous year question. Read it 3 times, make notes, that's all. Coming to modern India, only spectrum. Okay. Or you can do Bipin Chandra NCERT and modern India NCERT, because it gives you a very story kind of understanding. Do it at least 2 to 3 times. Now switch to spectrum. Again, previous year question is always there. Okay, previous year say you understand what kind of questions are asked. Now do it from spectrum and keep revising. Coming to world history and post-independence, I did not do any first reference book, but I only picked Vision IAS material and I kept reading it for 3 to 4 times. That's all. Okay. For Indian society, my optional was sociology. That's why I did not give emphasis separately or individually, but you should. And for Indian society, the best thing is your syllabus. Okay. Make a flow chart of your syllabus. See what 10 to 12 points are there. See previous year, like if urbanization is a topic, see what all questions have been asked from urbanization. Now make notes. See poverty, what all questions have been asked. Now make notes. And notes can be from any source. That can be from Vision IAS material. That can be from any coaching material. that has to have your newspaper, articles, whatever news is coming, you have to incorporate it. Okay. Now coming to your geography part. For geography, I did 11th, 12th NCERT, and I also did this Brunel's geography. On YouTube, there is ma'am Rashtanil Solakki ma'am. She teaches geography. I did those videos also, so they make you main study. This was my whole GS1, and trust me, GS1 is a very rewarding paper. Don't ignore it. Very, very rewarding. I'm again telling that if I did not score 114 this year, I would not have got All India Service this year. So that GS1 I got 114. That was really a bounce for me. So, and input is equals to output in GS1.
The return ROI is very good.
Yeah, very good, very, very good. That is the most trusted paper. So please do not ignore it. Do as much effort that you can.
Of course. Thanks for that. Rohit has asked, ma'am, how to avoid thoughts of fear of failure? One. The second is, what was your backup if not UPSC? Two.
Okay.
Philosophical.
So, yeah. See, failure is part of life. Okay. And fear is also part of life. So, first thing is always be ready. Okay, even if you fail, then what? Life doesn't end, na?
Exactly.
Life doesn't end. Even if you have exhausted all your attempts, then what? You should have that confidence that you will be able to do good in life. If you have not been able to clear this exam, you are made for something else and you will excel in it. Okay. So first of all, you should not think that you will not be able to do. Secondly, if this keeps coming, just tell your mind that even if I'm not able to do this, I will eventually do good in life. Okay, eventually. And so obviously, if you see the success ratio, the rest 99.9% of the people, they do not end up wasting their life. They do get settled in their life very well. So there's nothing to fear. Why you have to fear? You have nothing to lose. The worst thing is you will not hear. That is the worst thing. The UPSC is not taking your life away.
Exactly. They're not putting you in the jail.
Yeah. So don't be fearful and have trust. Have trust. If you have done honest efforts, God will make you through. Because God has abundance to give. Has everything in abundance to give. Okay. So if you're honest in the process, if your intentions are right, you will get through. There's nothing to fear.
I'll add one more thing to it. And this is something that I've seen around me. If people, they are honest, they are sincere in their preparation. I'm not saying that eventually they will get success in UPSC. But there are so many other avenues with this same preparation. You might get into a state civil services. You might go into banking PO. Okay, you might clear SSC. So eventually you will get something from this particular thing. So what was your backup, Areeba?
No backup, sir.
No backup, just like me. Very good.
No backup. I already told in that seminar of Civilsdaily that the moment I entered this exam, I knew that my efforts will be 100%, my honesty will be 100%, my intentions will be good. So I will make it. That was the thing. So I had no backup, honestly.
I used to get this query all the time when I was preparing and I was not getting success. What is your backup? This is my opinion. I always used to say if suddenly I have an option, if I have a backup, then I'll go for that particular thing.
Correct.
If I have option B, if I have a plan B, then by default that plan B will become plan A.
That is in your subconscious mind.
Exactly. That is
then
a comfort
you do not
zone.
push yourself.
Yep. So, were you a working professional while you cleared the examination?
No, sir. I completed my college. I joined a startup. I worked for 12 days. I resigned. And then since then, I have been doing this sole preparation.
Okay, why I asked this particular question? Because Mohammad Shariq, he asked this particular question. Please suggest some point managing demanding job with preparation. How it will be really helpful. He wants to know how to juggle between job and the preparation. So if you have any idea.
Okay. So first of all, the pros for the working candidate is you have a fallback option. You are financially independent. So it gives you kind of psychological relaxation. Okay. So first of all, understand that you have one good thing. Okay. So because ultimately it's your mind only that tells you that you have time, you do not have time, you'll be able to do or you'll not be able to do. So first of all, tell yourself that you are a working professional, you have a fallback option, you are financially independent. Now, how to utilize time is whenever you are traveling, read newspaper. If you're not able to read, listen to news. Listen to some analysis. Listen to Sunset TV or something. When there is lunchtime, other people would be gossiping. You have to read something. You have to solve some questions. You have to do some topic. Now, if there is some Saturday, Sunday off, you have to be, some 14 to 15 hours student. You have to study for that many hours. And one more thing I want to clarify that since people who are not working doesn't mean that they utilize their time very efficiently.
No, they don't.
Ultimately, everybody studies only for 4 hours to 5 hours.
Exactly.
In a productive manner. And the working professionals, since they have scarcity of time, then they utilize that time very efficiently. So ultimately, it's all leveled up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's the way how you see the lens.
One thing, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for breaking this myth. Everyone reads for 4 or 5 hours.
Correct.
Because see, I have been listening to this crap since last 15, 16 years, 18 years. Because if you have to clear the UPSC, you have to study for 18 hours, 15 hours, 12 hours. No, that is not the truth. They are lying. They are making this thing up. Okay. Eventually, 4, 5 or maximum 6 hours is something that your brain will take. Everything else will be filtered down.
Correct.
Yes. So please, working professionals, 80% of the students who are in Civilsdaily, they are working professionals. We know how to manage your time. Because we know that life will be a little bit difficult for you when compared to someone, let's say, who is a full-time aspirant. You might not be getting a full time for the socialization, but who cares? After 1.5 years of success, you will have all the time in the world to socialize. So use that weekend. If you have a 5-day working week, use 5-day working days for 4 or 5 hours every day. For the weekends, use 10-12 hours for answer writing and everything.
Basically, you have to steal time. Even if it's
Exactly.
10 minutes, you have to steal it.
Exactly. And I've seen people who are traveling in metro, they are reading.
Yes, sir.
So Rushi has asked one important question. In next 15 minutes, we'll wind up. Don't worry. So Rushi has asked, can we criticize government and answer? And what various dimensions one should put? And he or she, I'm sorry about the gender. So Rushi has also asked, how to start intro and end conclusion in answers.
Okay. So answering the first part, see, you do not have to intentionally criticize government. And there's nothing like criticizing government. You criticize a policy. And you do not criticize it, you critically analyze, first of all. There's a huge difference in criticizing and critically analyzing. You have to become a bureaucrat. You do not have to become a political activist. Okay. Or a political person who has to criticize the best of policies also. You have to be a bureaucrat, and every policy will have 20-30% issues with it. It might not be able to cater to some population. It might not be able to cater the fiscal deficit of the government. So these are the challenges of those policies, of those particular programs. Okay, you have to highlight these, but then you also have to come up with a solution to these things, because ultimately bureaucrat is one who knows the problem and who knows the solution also. So that has to be reflected on your paper. You do not have to criticize unnecessarily. You have to critically analyze where you give the strengths of it, where you give the challenges of it, and then ultimately you give the solution of it. Even if you're not having solution, then you give the positive optimism in the answer that today it might be the case, but we are in a bright direction.
Exactly. You might start with the pessimism, but you have to end with the optimism.
Correct.
You have to
quote, you ultimately have to be a rational person. There's nothing in this exam pro-government, anti-government. There's nothing like this in this exam. Okay, and that should not be even in your day-to-day case. Everything has pros, everything has cons. So you just have to be very critical. Your critical analysis should be on. You have to reflect that on paper and ultimately take a middle path and move.
Exactly. I think this question has also answered Hemant's question, because he had also asked you while answer writing how to stay away from personal opinion and concentrate on subjective analysis of the topic. So I think Hemant, you have got the answer. Someone has asked me this question. Briefly tell me, did you make notes online or offline? Notes.
I made notes offline till mains and online in interview stage.
Okay.
Offline because I knew that till mains I have to write with my own hands and the pen. That's why I made offline notes. Although I'm a technology wala person, I'm a CS graduate, but I did not want to hone my skills doing this because ultimately I have to catch that pen and write. But in interview, you have to only speak, and things get keeps changing. A lot of things keep changing. Things get added every day. So for that, I used online for interview only. And rest of the time it was all offline.
Mostly you have to rely on offline because eventually you are going to write, so better to write. Abhishek Pal has asked the question. He has also raised the hand. How to make environment notes? Please give me one example like climate change, like that, intro, body, and conclusion. So basically, he's asking about environment notes. How to prepare environment notes? What was your idea?
Okay, so in environment, first thing is you need to know what all things have been asked and what things keep coming. Like every time they ask something about wetland, something about plastic or this thing coastal erosion. This time also coastal erosion came. So first of all, understand what they ask, and now how you have to make notice. Intro, body, conclusion. Intro can be definition. Intro can be some data. Intro can be some recent event. Take for example, if they are asking you something on coastal erosion, like this time it came, so you can give a data that this much coastal area has been eroded. Okay. Or according to this and this survey or some report, this is the latest coastal erosion. Or you can even write that this particular disaster is a testimony that coastal erosion is increasing. Now coming to your body. So for body, again, you have to incorporate whatever has been asked previously. If such question has been asked previously, that is your first priority. Secondly, whatever source you are following, that is Shankar IAS, that is your current affair. Okay, so that whole body you will make. And now you will conclude. You can conclude through some committee recommendation. You can conclude through some world's best practices, some agreement that has been signed. And always try to use some data or committee in a multifaceted manner. Like you can use Paris Agreement in various places. You can use, if we have offsetted 21% of carbon emission from our GDP, you can use it at several places. You should understand that where this has to be used. Okay. So again, don't collect a lot of data, rather understand how to use the same data in multiple places. Okay. That's how you make notes. And one more thing that you can do in environment, when this mains 365 comes now, then for some 10 to 15 priority topics, you can make a short note from that. There are high chances that if some meeting happened, that may come as a question. Like Glasgow summit happened. So since last 2 years, this question has been coming. Okay, so mains 365 you can pick, or any coaching material you can pick. Pick at least 10 to 15 priority areas and make short notes.
Okay, so last question that Rushi has asked. Okay, someone was speaking. Abhishek, you were there, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. But क्वेश्चन ये था कि सर जो यूपीएससी का ये क्वेश्चन बनता है ये 2-3 टॉपिक को मिला के बनता है, तो इसमें हम नोट्स कैसे बनाएं इंट्रो बॉडी conclusion?
Okay, I'll ask this in English so that other people can also benefit from this particular thought process. So basically what Abhishek is saying, that normally what happens in environment is the fact that question is asked from 2-3 different topics in a single question. So how can we make notes in that particular section? Also, how to then make intro, conclusion, and the main body.
Okay. I understand his point. What he tries to say is, there is geography, there is environment, and there is disaster management that keeps intermingling in a question.
Exactly.
Okay. But my dear aspirant, understand that if they have asked this particular thing in GS3, then they do not expect a lot of geography from you. You can write 1-2 points related to geography of that particular thing, but you cannot make a geography answer. If they have asked it from environment, they do not expect a disaster management answer from you. Okay, you have to understand ye kahan se aaya. Okay, so if it's a purely environment question, your priority is 70% environment, 10% geography, 10% disaster management. And similarly, you have to make notes. Take for example, cyclones. Okay, cyclone is a geographical phenomenon. Due to global warming, it is increasing. That's an environmental phenomenon. How to prevent, like how to mitigate, how to do the preparedness is the disaster management thing.
Exactly.
So one cyclone has 3 aspects. But now you have to understand if it comes in GS1, how you have to write. Then geography will be 80%, environment will be 10%, 10% will be disaster management. If it comes in GS3 in environment part, 70% is environment. You have to talk about global warming. You have to talk that mangrove bioshields are being cut, coral reefs are being cut, which is causing a lot of this thing, cyclones, and all of the ocean ocean warming, all of these are contributing. Now if the thing is, if it's cyclone comes in disaster management, 70% is disaster management. Then you have to do some geography by the part, that why cyclones on this coast only, why not that coast. So basically you have to understand that where it has come from. See, you have to read in comprehensive manner. You have to read some geography, some environment, some disaster. But ultimately, you have to decide which topic it has come from, and that will decide what percentage these things will carry.
Exactly. Or for that matter, things like art and culture and history are intertwined. Questions like geography and resources are intertwined. So, of course, they are asking in a multidimensional manner, and they will be asking.
Yes.
So Rushi here has asked, do we need to write answers in point-wise or paragraph pattern? How to connect various dimensions and maintaining flow, whether following paragraph or point-wise? This is the last question that we'll be taking today.
Again, it does not matter. If you are able to convey your point, you can write anyway. But as a normal human being, I will want to read in point format, because point format is very crisp. It is, I know that there are 5 to 10 points. In paragraph, I don't know what different points you have written. I do not know what different ideas you have placed in those points, in those paragraphs. But if you write in point, I know, okay, 10 points, maybe 10 different ideas. And I can quickly read the gist of those points in one keyword. So that is the advantage that you get from point. But if you're not well practiced, then you can go from paragraph also. There's nothing like that. The best thing is keep a mix. Don't be monotonous that you're writing only points, only paragraphs. Keep a mix. Because sometimes you have to write paragraph. Sometimes you have to write point. That you have to understand. And especially if I talk about optional. In optional, this query comes a lot. See, some of the times you have to write paragraphs in optionals. Sometimes you have to write points. So the more you practice, the better you'll understand that what kind of answer requires point, what kind of answer requires paragraphs.
Okay, one last question, and I think it is a very subjective question. Sir, ma'am told me that you told her when she saw Shruti ma'am's note, she knew that she will clear it. And Shruti ma'am notes were better than her notes. So what was the difference between your notes and Shruti ma'am's note? What made Shruti ma'am notes better? Please give an example.
Okay. See, what I wanted to convey was that her efforts were visible in notes. Her efforts, like she had segregated, first of all, very logically the syllabus. She had incorporated most of the examples. See, I'm not saying that my notes were different from her or her notes were different from mine. Ultimately, if you are in top 100, if you're in top 200 or whatever your rank is, you all have similar minds.
Exactly.
It's just that 1 mark, half mark difference creates overall difference. So I didn't want to say that her notes were the best notes or something. I just want to say that your efforts are visible in your notes. Okay. Whatever things are coming in newspaper were in her notes. Whatever she could predict were in her notes. Whatever previous year questions have been asked, the answers were in her notes. So that's the homework that she had done. So she had collected the examples, the best practices, whatever she could do on her own sitting in the classroom, she did. So that's why we all knew that she will do great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks. I'll ask Pooja to finish this round with the question because she has raised the hand. And with that, we will end the session. So Pooja, please come on the screen and ask the question that you want to ask. Pooja, can you hear us?
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, how to cover current affairs?
Can you be more specific? Because it's a very dynamic question. We need a whole new session for that.
Sir, I mean is like whether I should cover by reading newspaper and making notes from newspaper, or following some magazine, monthly magazine, and then revising it afterwards.
You have to do newspaper. Okay. There's no negotiation about it. You have to do newspaper. And you can definitely do one monthly magazine to cover up the things that you missed. Because many times we forget to read something, or we just miss it unconsciously, or we totally miss a newspaper for a week, we were not well or something. So you have to do one monthly magazine, but you have to do newspaper. You cannot rely completely on magazine or completely on any other thing. Because ultimately, wherever I go, I say it's your exam. You cannot trust anyone blindly. You cannot hold that coaching responsible that why didn't you cover this news? Okay. So ultimately, you have to understand newspaper makes you a thinking person. Newspaper makes you a unique person. Because what you capture from newspaper is different from what the other person captures from newspaper. So no negotiation about newspaper, you have to read it. You can definitely supplement with your monthly magazines. Okay.
Thanks, Ethan, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Most welcome. And with that, we wind up this session. Whatever queries you have, don't worry. Our team will reach out to you. Take care. You can ask the same queries to my team and they will be answered. Don't worry. And because of the paucity of time, we are holding this session till here only. Don't worry. Areeba ma'am will be here with us.
Sir, please take my question.
कौन है?
Sir, Radhika.
Hi Radhika. Take the permission of Areeba then. I'm no one to say. I'm enjoying this session. I'm loving this session.
Ma'am, please allow.
No, you can definitely tell.
Please go ahead.
Ma'am, it's a different question. I want to ask question regarding prelims. How to prepare for CSET?
Okay, you want CSAT particularly?
Yeah, ma'am.
So CSAT, the best thing is again previous year question. The thing is you have to solve from 2013 till now, and you have to see what kind of question comes from which topic. Like there are some 5 to 6 topics in your quant, like time, speed, distance, ratio, proportion, profit, loss, work, energy, simple interest, compound interest. There are some 6 to 7 particular topics from where question comes. So practice these topics. For practicing, you can buy any book. I had Arihant CSAT book. It was a thick book by Arihant publication, and I did it. Okay, because in 2020 I failed my CSAT. So I realized that no matter how great an engineer you are, sometimes you have to bow down in front of UPSC. So respect every paper. Be it Hindi, English, CSAT, any paper. First of all, respect it. So now coming this way, so practice from this CSAT Kala book, all these topics. Also practice reading comprehensions, and the best thing to practice is again previous year question. So ultimately you will understand what is your forte, what is your strength. Okay, so my strength was logical reasoning. So I would go in the order of logical reasoning, quant, and then verbal. In the verbal also, there are 3 types of question if you analyze. First is they ask what is the best message out of it. Second, they ask what is the assumption out of it. Third, they ask what is the what is the inference of this particular question. है ना? 3 type के होते हैं, best message, assumption and inference. So my best shot was best message वाले question and my worst shot was on assumption. So I left all the assumption questions in English because that was the most risky for me. So first is quant, your logical reasoning, whatever you are comfortable, then go to verbal, and in verbal you have to decide which type of question you have to attempt. So previous year, practice and then solve in a exam format. Like put a 2 hours timer, you have to solve that paper. No distraction at that time. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, how you prepare for science and tech part for JS3?
Now you're taking advantage.
Yes. Yes.
No, I'll answer this. Please repeat.
Wait a minute. Do you know that she has done her BTech, right? But that's right. Basically, she's asking what was your approach for science and tech?
How would I do science?
Science and tech. Your approach for science and tech.
Okay. So for science and tech, my class notes from Vajiram, I think they were very good. And that I did all my class notes from Vajiram. Secondly, I did newspaper. So whatever things comes in newspaper, I used to Google it. Basically, you do not have to leave any term unknown. Google it, have at least some superficial knowledge about it. Okay. So that was one thing. Secondly, generally also I'm very inquisitive about science. So I used to read some BBC Future and the Wire ka science. So this is my general inquiry. So you do not have to do again all of these things. But if you are doing newspaper, if you have done your class notes, basic things, you will be through.
Okay, so Abhimanyu, you have asked one thing, ki you need the PDFs. I'm not going to ask you, Areeba.
Yes.
Basically, he is complaining one thing. The last time webinar notes have not been mailed to him. Don't worry, Abhimanyu. We will be making sure that last webinar's notes and this webinar's notes are available to you as soon as possible. Okay. And with that, thanks a lot, Areeba. Thanks a lot. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
I had a feeling that
talking to the aspirants.
Exactly, and it has been very insightful. Take care. You broke a lot of myth. I'll be honest. Okay, you broke a lot of myth, and certainly it is going to help my students, the team, and everyone. And as you all know, that Areeba is with us in the Super Mentorship program as well. So if you want to interact more with her, just wait and watch, and we will be having more sessions like these. Okay, and with that, everyone, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being so patient with us. Take care. It took us some time to answer your questions. Some of you might have missed the chance to get answered today, but don't worry, my team will reach out to you. And with that, thanks a lot, Areeba, once again. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a nice day, and please take care of your preparation, take care of your health, and don't worry, everything will fall into the place. Okay? All the best.
All the best. Bye. Take care.
Good night.